Hi everyone, this is Michelle Markey with Medina Domestic Art Studio, and today I'm actually doing a quick demo on how to use watercolor pencils. I use all sorts of pencils. These particular ones are Prismacolor. I know quite a number of my students have Prismacolor watercolor pencils, and so I want to do a quick demo to show you how they work on this particular Animals Gone Zen critter, the chameleon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a bit of my fabric medium, not a lot, just a little bit. And we're going to do a couple of techniques today. The first is going to be dry on dry. I'm actually going to take, let's see if we'll start out maybe with the pink first. And I'm going to just color in this area right here to kind of give you an idea how this works. So just like Inktense pencils, notice I'm just coloring in the area. Okay, and let's kind of make the next area a little darker. Now my pencils here are pretty sharp because these are very small areas, and sometimes you really have to have decent sharp pencils in order for it to get in the area and stay within the area. Okay, I'm going to do one more color here. I'm going to come over here. And let's just say that I want to bring in maybe a lighter color to act as a contrast. I'm going to choose this one right here, coloring from that point. And maybe I want to add a little bit of orange to this down here at the bottom. So again, similar to what we do with Inktense pencils. Okay, once we've done that, and again, this is the dry on dry technique, now I'm going to dip my brush into the fabric medium. And I'm just going to come up here and start just swishing it around a bit. And let me see if I can zoom in here real quick. There we go. Maybe one more time. Let me move this down a bit so that you can see it. Maybe this will give you a slightly better idea. And you see all I'm doing is just swishing and getting rid of the lines and blend those colors. And let's do this next one, which is the most interesting. I'm going to start kind of way and come down here where the two different colors are and blend, and you can see they just kind of blend together real easily. So again, that's just dry on dry, no different than what we do with Inktense pencils. But now let's do a bit of wet on wet. And I'm going to come over here to this one, and I'm going to put a little bit of fabric medium in that particular section. No need to saturate it, just get it wet. And let's come in with this yellow, excuse me, and I'm going to start coloring. And just as we see with Inktense pencils, the vibrancy of the color is quite strong. So you can color directly with a wetted area with fabric medium. And then let's maybe put a little bit of orange in here since this is looking so good. Kind of blend it in together. It's the one thing that I do quite a bit with the chameleon. He's a bunch of blended colors. And then all I have to do is come in with my wet brush and maybe scrub the two matching little areas where they come together, and it gives you a nice blend. So that's it. That is using watercolors the same way that you would do with Inktense pencils. I'm going to zoom back out again, and I'm going to show you one other thing, and that has to do with using these pencil tips like you would use them as paint. So there's a couple of different ways. And the very first way is to take your brush, get it wet, and rub it against the tip. And I'm going to try to bring this a little closer so that you can see this. And maybe it'll focus, maybe it won't, maybe I need to step back away just a bit. But if you'll notice, my brush picked up a bunch of pigment color, and so now I can come back in and paint directly on the canvas with a bit of wet fabric medium that's been tinted with the color off the tip of the brush. Again, it gives you a nice vivid color. Yes, I made a boo-boo there. You can see, maybe you can't, Let's zoom in again. Well, it's hard to see here, but I did make a slight bit of boo-boo. I would probably normally wash my brush out and come back in quickly and overcolor that. Now the other way to do this, and again I'll zoom back out, is that same pencil tip. I'm actually going to break off a tip and I'm going to put it right here in my little pan. Oops, you can when it's not wet. Anyway, anybody can see this. I'm going to turn this around so that you can get a better glimpse. And there's my pencil tip. Now, if you take fabric medium and you kind of put it on top, you'll notice right away that the pencil tip begins to melt. And if you work that pencil tip, you ultimately end up making what would be like fabric paint. And you can color directly on this, and of course the more you put down, of course you shouldn't get your white fabric medium mixed up, but this is a demo after all. Normally I would just put a couple of drops directly on the pencil tip to be able to do what I'm doing right here, but this is a demo. So you can see that there's plenty of that color coming out from that pencil tip. And you can either wait until it's 100% melted, which is probably going to take about 10 minutes or so, or you can kind of use it just the way you see right now. Again, I'm going to come down here and color directly onto the chameleon with that color. So again, they're watercolors, Prisma watercolor pencils. And I hope this helps some of you who have these watercolor pencils. By the way, you don't necessarily have to have Prismacolor. It really works for just about any really reputable watercolor pencil, Faber-Castell, which is a favorite of mine, Caran d'Ache, anything that is sold pretty much nationally, you can use that. I mean, not to say that some of the off-brands won't be able to do it, but you won't get quite the pigment color that you're getting with these Prismacolors or some of the other more well-known fabric watercolor pencils. So there you have it. I hope this helps. I hope that you will try this, and happy coloring. Thank you.